you go out to Wilmington, I go to Carolina Beach a lot because we got some family friends that have a house out there, and it's easy to park at their property and just walk to the beach. But if you go to a beach in North Carolina, what are you going to see, Joe?
You're going to see blue and teal.
Yeah.
You're going to see a brilliant innovation.
Yes.
I was thinking about this, and Dane is about to join us, but here's the truth. Like, we're state grads.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this studio doing a podcast, struggling, right? Trying to make our shit work. Dane, the Carolina grad, him and his bro, banking, just brilliant,
just making all sorts of money.
The difference between state and Carolina, right there.
It's right there. Dane Barnes joining us, co-founder of Shibumi Shade. Dane, what's going on, man?
Joe and Joe, excuse me. Congrats on the podcast, and thanks so much for having me on today.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on. And I cracked up earlier this year. Kelly and I and the kids, we went to the U.S. Virgin Islands for spring break, and we were staying at Cinnamon Bay, part of the national park. And the cruise ships eventually show up, and then people just kind of disperse to the various beaches. I was walking back to the national park, basically their food container where they have beer, to go get myself a cheap beer. As I'm walking back, I see it. I see the Shibumi Shade. There's a very distinctive look of the Shibumi Shade. As I'm walking past this family, I said, "Y'all from North Carolina, right?" And they looked at me like, "Yeah." And I go, "Shibumi Shade gave it away." So that's kind of where things are at right now with Shibumi Shade. That's got to be pretty cool to see this thought you guys had with the beach really just kind of organically grow and become distinctive like this.
Yeah, it's really amazing. So I started Shibumi with my brother Scott and best friend Alex back in 2016, and we grew up going to the beaches all our lives, and we were frustrated by the poorly designed shades of umbrellas and tents that break and blow away, and they're not that portable, and all of those things. And so we founded Shibumi with the guiding belief that beach time should be easy and more carefree. And so our first product, the Shibumi Shade, was our answer to all of those things that frustrated us, in other beach products. And it's just been amazing to see how popular it's become, both in the Carolinas and certainly far, far beyond as well.
How did you know the color scheme was going to be the right one?
The color scheme is the blue and teal, and so that represents the deep water and shallow water. So we wanted to create a color scheme that really fit with the place of the beach. Some people accuse us of it being Duke blue in Carolina, but it's not. It's blue and teal. So I guess we hear that from state fans mostly. I don't know, but it is not. It is not Carolina blue and Duke blue.
There's nothing wrong with repping the heels, man. I mean, honestly, I thought that's what it was.
You're not the only one, that's for sure.
Okay. All right. So here would be my question. I mean, clearly you guys have hit on something. It's the secret's out. I mean, I had a buddy of mine text me the New York Mag story and review on Shibumi Shade. So at that point, it's like, well, forget it. Like this is just going to blow up even more. It's really easy to just milk it. I mean, you could easily license those shades, could you not? I mean, you're telling me that you couldn't tap into some state fans that would come up with like a red and white version or a red, black and white version, or any other schools for that matter?
Don't limit yourself. Get those crazy SEC fans.
Have you thought about that? Yeah, I mean, there's Tennessee Orange. You got all the Virginia Tech fans coming down to the Outer Banks, like all that kind of stuff. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, so for us, it's interesting that Shibumi beach shades can now be found in more than 800 beaches worldwide, and are certainly the most popular beach shade on the East Coast, and then growing a lot in the Gulf coasts as well. And as far as colors, we have been staying in our lane with the blue and teal, because when you go out to the beach and you look left and right, and just for miles all you see is the blue and teal, it really becomes a branding moment and a marketing moment, so that people know that is a Shibumi beach shade. And so we think about other colors sometimes, and in the early days people would say, oh, you guys should come out with purple and gold, or red and white, or whatever else. And now more people say, hey, don't come out with new colors. We really like it, and it is a statement out on the beach.
All right, this is a podcast. This is a show. So it's the summer. Okay, I need your Carolina Mount Rushmore Go.
Oh man, I see. I'm embarrassing as a Carolina fan to do this. Jordan's obviously the top, but I'll just stop right there. I mean, actually, I graduated in 2009. So the 2009 national championship team, we can just take that starting five plus Jordan. But I'm probably the worst Carolina fan out of the three of us. My brother Scott and best friend Alex went to Carolina as well. They're the real sports fans, and I just tag along with them. So
you were at least on Franklin Street in 2009, right?
Of course, yeah. I did jump over a couple of fires and burned my shoes and threw them away, but that was one of the best experiences of my college career.
Might have. I was gonna say I didn't run. Kelly and I we exited Bubs in 2009 just to see what was going on. That's where we watched the national championship game in 2009. I wasn't cool enough to go to a Final Four yet, so I just watched it at a bar in Chapel Hill, which actually ended up being the better experience anyway.
Yeah, Alex was there at the Final Four, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
If you remain sports agnostic, does that mean the Rams Club and whatever the NIL is doesn't come after you guys and say, "Hey, we need some money"?
Yeah.
No, they haven't. So yeah, all that is such an interesting new world.
Okay, so I'm curious, and Dane Barnes is joining us, one of the co-founders of Shibumi Shade. If you're from North Carolina and you're listening to this podcast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My brother-in-law has brought it up.
Even if you're not from North Carolina at this point.
Yeah, you're not. Although we were up in Ocean City, Maryland, visiting my brother-in-law, and he's got one, and I'm pretty sure we were the only ones on the beach with one. But again, that's the kind of thing that's gonna grow over time. So how many iterations of that fabric did you go through before you finally found the one?
A lot. I mean, so at Shibumi, we focus on improvements. So every year we come out with a new and improved shade. We don't always market that or kind of announce it, but every year we are making the product, stronger, quieter, more durable, whatever it is. And so really every year we are doing that, and we released our newest and improved version last summer as well. So it's kind of four things: it's quieter, it's stronger, it is more color fast, and it is now made from 40% ocean-bound recycled plastic bottles, which we're proud of as well.
Okay, no, that's very cool that it's using recycled products. It's interesting you bring up the noise factor of it. I'm guessing if it's like, I don't think of it. The beach is a noisy place anyway, with seagulls and kids and the ocean itself and everything else that's going on. People playing music. So I'm assuming that since you brought up the noise factor, that was one of maybe the earlier complaints. Is it a fabric change that helps with that? I mean, how does that work exactly?
Yeah, so that some people say that, hey, the Shibumi can be louder in high winds, and so we're always trying to improve. It certainly does flap, and so we're trying to optimize that experience. We actually built, backing up even further, for product testing and focusing on quality and innovation, we actually put a full-size Shibumi in the NASCAR wind tunnel in Mooresville, North Carolina. Right. We couldn't break it in the wind tunnel, and it was pretty expensive per hour. So then we actually Dane, I gotta ask,
because now I'm thinking about podcast bits and can we afford it? How much did the wind tunnel cost per hour?
It was a couple $1,000s per hour, but they cut us a bit of a deal because we were not a NASCAR team, so a little less than that, and those guys were amazing and super helpful. Yeah. It was expensive.
Because the bit that I'm immediately thinking about is Joe uses a lot of product in his hair, and we're going to be in Charlotte. We're going to be in Charlotte in a couple of weeks.
Won't move.
I'm just wondering, at what point in the wind tunnel will your hair actually get messed up?
It will not move.
But we don't have $1,000 now.
No.
At least not now. At least not now. So the other question I had about Shibumi, it's not just the one. You've got the normal one, and you have a smaller version too, like a 2-person Shibumi. A mini.
That's right. The Shibumi Shade Mini for 2 people.
So, at what is not to give away too much of the game here, but are there other sizes you can come up with? Or is there a way to connect Shibumis, over time? What's the next kind of product innovation? Not just in terms of,
Dane, will you yell at him right now?
What's that?
He just made the Roy Williams podcast, and now you're being the boss right now, going, "What's next? What are you going to do next?" No, I'm just the dude came up with the dude reinvented the game.
He said he's coming up with product and renovations all the time. So I'm curious what's next.
Let him live, man.
Fair enough.
Play the hits, Dane. Tell him.
Well, on that note, so yeah, as far as connecting Shibumis, people take their Shibumi shades and they will connect them like a tunnel. So I think the record that we've seen is 5 connected in a row.
All right.
So somebody out there is going to do 6 and 7, which would be neat to see. And then as far as improvements, we're always working on improving the core products. But our mission is to raise the bar on beach time with products that are, thoughtfully designed, innovative. And so we do have other things in the works that we can't announce today. But next time I'm back on the podcast, we can introduce those. But
yes,
things to make your beach experience better is what we're working on. And I guess we actually did come out with the Shibumi beach towels this summer.
Ooh.
So they are oversized. They're extra soft, velour on one side, absorbent terry on the back. Really high quality, made in Portugal, and so those are a nice complement for your beach or pool day.
I dig it, Dane. I appreciate the time. Thanks for putting up with our shenanigans. It's awesome to see. If we're trying to mimic the whole organic growth and people going to the quality of this podcast in the same way that people see the quality.
Dane would be okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And they see the quality of the Shibumi.
Quarter.
And to your point, yeah, it is. I had a friend of mine, LK. She posted on TikTok. She was in Pine Knoll Shores, and it's just like I think she used like the Home Depot music on the TikTok, where it's just like, here are all these Shibumis. I counted like 30 Shibumis all in a row, man. That's got to make you happy.
It does. It's so cool to see, and we're so grateful for everyone's support, out on the beach. And so I hope everyone has a great summer, and hope you guys get more beach time in.
No, yeah, we will. Dan, appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
Joe, thanks so much.
Again, that's Dane Barnes, Shibumi Shade, a very fascinating conversation with all that. And yes, Joe, imagine just having that one idea, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Just imagine having that one idea.
Right, man.